You're scrolling through social media when suddenly your brand new phone stutters and lags. Frustration sets in. Wasn't this supposed to be a powerhouse? Those benchmark scores looked impressive, so what's going on here? Today, we're peeling back the layers of smartphone benchmarks. We're going to explore what they really mean, why they can be misleading, and how to make sense of them when choosing your next smartphone. And so without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. Benchmarks are standardized tests that measure a phone's performance. They spit out numbers and are supposed to tell you how powerful these devices are. But here's the thing, those numbers don't always translate to real-world experience, and there are times these numbers can be misleading. Imagine picking a car based solely on its horsepower rating. Sure, a high-powered engine sounds great, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Maybe the car has a clunky transmission that saps all the power, or maybe the brakes are weak, making it a hazard on the road. Benchmark scores are similar. They measure a phone's raw processing power, kind of like the engine's horsepower. But smartphones are complex systems just like cars. The software, the battery life, the camera performance, and even the screen quality all factor into how this phone performs and feels. Later in this video, I will reveal how some manufacturers game the system. You won't believe how they boost their scores. Alright, we've established that benchmark scores aren't the holy grail, but they can still be useful if you understand what they actually measure. So let's break down the different types of benchmarks. The first we'll talk about here is CPU benchmarks. This is like testing your phone's brain power. It's all about how fast your phone can think and process stuff. And in real life, it's the difference between your apps opening instantly or taking forever to load. Now, there's a popular test out there, the Geekbench test, and the highest scores mean faster phone. Now, the second one would be the GPU benchmarks. This one's for gamers and video buffs out there. It checks how well your phone handles the graphics and visuals, and for real-world impacts, smooth gameplay in Fortnite or buttery smooth scrolling on TikTok. A common test here would be the 3D Mark app, and the highest score means a better gaming experience. The third is the battery benchmark. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, how long does your smartphone last? These tests simulate real-world use to see how long your battery holds up. In everyday life, it's the difference between needing to charge at maybe lunchtime or lasting till bedtime. Example would be the PC Mark battery test, and the longer time is better, obviously. By the way, I'd love for you to leave a comment down there and tell me which of these three, GPU, CPU, or battery, matters most to you. So we've talked about the different types of benchmarks, but what do these numbers actually mean? And here's the thing, there's no universal scoring system for benchmarks. Different apps and tools use different scales and metrics. However, there are some general trends to keep in mind. Generally, higher scores indicate better performance. Remember how I promised to reveal why your shiny new smartphone might lag despite impressive benchmark scores? Here's the shocking truth. Some manufacturers engage in a practice called benchmark cheating. When a phone detects it's running a popular benchmark app, it goes into overdrive, pushing its processor to unsustainable levels. And these are levels that it would never use in day-to-day operations. And here's how it works. The phone software recognizes a benchmark app is running, and then it triggers a performance mode that maxes out the CPU and the GPU. This mode often overclocks the processor beyond normal limits, and the cooling system sometimes works overtime to prevent overheating. For you, the regular user, you see the benchmark score soars, but it's not a representation of the real-world use. In everyday use, your smartphone balances between the battery life and the heat management, so it won't sustain those benchmark levels for so long. And that's why the real-world experience might not match exactly what those impressive scores would give you. Now, I'm not saying you should disregard benchmark scores entirely. Instead, you can use them as a general guide and not the gospel. You can also compare smartphones within the same price range and release window. Also look at the trends across multiple benchmark applications and types. One other thing I'll do would be to read in-depth reviews that combine benchmark data with hands-on experience, and also consider specific needs. Let's say you're a gamer, you might prioritize GPU scores, while a professional might focus on something like the CPU performance. Looking ahead, benchmarks need a serious makeover to stay relevant. Instead of abstract numbers, we should push for tests that mirror the real-world usage. Imagine a benchmark score that simulates a typical day from morning email checks to evening Netflix binges, and score the smartphones on how smoothly they handle all these tasks. We need tests that factor in long-term performance, not just out-of-the-box speed. How about a 6-month score that actually predicts a smartphone's performance over a long period of time? And let's not forget consistency. A smartphone that performs well 90% of the time is better than one that's blazing fast but prone to random shutdowns and slowdowns. Ultimately, the goal should be benchmark scores that answer one simple question: how well will this smartphone work for me in my life, day in, day out? That's the kind of benchmark that would truly help consumers make informed decisions. For me, these smartphone benchmark scores are like tools, but not the total truth. They are useful indicators, but shouldn't be your only criteria when choosing a smartphone. Consider your personal needs, your budget, and how the smartphone you're trying to get, feels in hand. Remember, the best smartphone isn't always the one with the biggest scores. It's the one that enhances your daily life. I'd love for you to share your benchmark horror story in the comment section below. Did you ever buy a smartphone based on benchmark scores that disappointed you in real life? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you found this video really helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit on the notification bell for more tech insights like this one. Catch you all later. Cuidado.